The creation of the participation trophy. Yeah. And some of you will disagree because you feel that, well, a person that participates should get something. They should get something, whether they did something or not. They could have been sitting on the bench, never played in the game. Their contribution was quite minimal, you know, got a uniform, didn't really do much, but yet they walk away with something. Okay, I understand what that means for some of you because you're like, well, they were on the team and we're a team, we're together. So you are included. It's the idea of inclusion. Okay. So the upside of that is inclusion. I get it. But the person that gets the participation trophy, did they really work as hard to be the best on the team? Did they really want to be on the team? Maybe their parents forced them to be on the team. They didn't really want to be there, and yet they get a certificate. Didn't really do much. Okay? So there's that element. It's like, well, the sense of entitlement starts to creep in because you realize, well, I should get something without working hard. Uh-oh. Getting something for not working hard. Entitlement. Some of you have a problem with that today. We have this generation of people who have this entitlement attitude. You've seen it. You know what I'm talking about. Where do you think that came from? When you give a person a participation trophy and they didn't work for anything, they didn't do much, they didn't contribute anything, that's sort of where that comes from because there's a certain level of hard work, like what the silent generation did, where you worked hard to get something. You really worked hard to get it. So you appreciate it. You appreciate it. You work hard and you get something for working hard. You understand that. It's a rite of passage. But now we have the generation that doesn't believe in hard work, doesn't want to do anything, really, but yet feels that they deserve to get these accolades or get approval or acceptance or whatever the case may be, right? And if we keep it to sports, sports is a metaphor for life. But, you know, these two things quite connected in terms of effort and ethics and push, drive, will. You know, the participation trophy. I received one, actually two. This one, 1993, for playing on the church basketball team. Now, this was in the 90s. I think this is when the participation trophy idea came along. So Generation X, we were the first generation to receive participation trophies. We were the first generation to receive it. I don't remember, did they give these out in the 80s? I don't think they did. I don't think they did. For those of you, because let's see, Generation X were little kids in the 80s or teenagers in the 80s. Some members of Generation X were teenagers in the 80s. So then you guys that were teenagers in the 80s between 1985 and 1990, you would remember if you received participation trophies or not. So maybe you can put that in the comments section because I was in grade school and middle school in the 80s and high school in the 90s. Because Generation X is between 1964 and 1980, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. So I don't think they gave these out in the 70s, definitely. I don't think, no. Baby boomers, they were in high school in the 70s. So yeah, I don't think they got participation trophies. So Generation X received these. Okay. So am I proud of that? It's whatever. You know what I mean? I was maybe the fourth decent player on the team. So I did contribute. My second year on the church basketball team was a lot better. I actually got voted to the All-Star team. So that was a different year for me. Didn't get any MVP trophies or anything like that, but I did make the All-Star team. But I also received the participation trophy that we all received in 1994 playing for that church basketball team. I still don't think this was a good idea because, again, it takes away from the effort that you would do, right? MVPs, most valuable player, you know, I don't know, man. That entitlement creeps in because when you just give people accolades for not doing hard work, then they think, well, that's how it should be done. I should give accolades for not doing anything. So now we're living in the age of mediocrity. We're living in that age right now. Okay. So, us, Generation X, we started it by being the recipients of those, and then it continued into the 2000s. So, now for those of you that are complaining about these kids who are entitled and don't want to work hard and just figure, okay, just give me my awards for doing nothing, there it is. What do you think? Participation trophies. You're just there. You didn't do much. You didn't even want to be there, and you got a trophy. See, that's not cool. That's not cool. I think it should go back to just the awards for best player and that sort of thing. Because then you see, all right, sure, you don't feel included, but then it makes you want to work that much harder next year to get that MVP trophy, you know? Or maybe you get a sixth man trophy or whatever, the trophies of actually doing the work, right? Contributing. Okay. Because for the people who don't get the trophies, it makes them say, you know what? Not only do I want to kick ass being a part of the team, meaning beat the opponents, but I actually want to have a performance that puts me in position to get those trophies. And then you take that into the real world, right? You want to give quality service working as a server at the restaurant. When you're working for that company that just started, you want to represent a certain work ethic. Yeah. You want to give quality service in everything that you do. You have a certain reputation. You take a lot of pride in what you do. Yeah. You take pride in it. If you just get trophies and certificates for nothing, there's not a lot of pride in that. You don't really take it serious. You don't care. You don't care about doing hard work because just for showing up to work, yeah, okay, here you go. Congratulations for showing up. Nah, man. It does something to this. It weakens the community. It weakens the country. Ooh, look at that. It's a ripple effect. Look at that. Look at the ripple because you can see it. And if you haven't seen it, you're blind to the idea of receiving accolades for doing nothing. You didn't build it. You didn't put the blood, sweat, and tears. And then you don't appreciate the people who did. You lose respect for those who work hard. You have disdain for those who work hard. Yeah. You lose respect for that idea. It's the idea of working hard. You lose respect for it. So much to the point to where you want to bash people who put themselves in position to receive the accolades for hard work. You bash them and attack them. It's the byproduct of the participation trophy. I'm going off, and I know there's a lot of you that disagree with it. There's a lot of you that will go against it. I know, because it's embedded in here. It's been going on for a long time. Like I said, Generation X, it was started in the 90s. So if you had kids in the 2000s, if your kid was born in 2000, 2001, and now they're in their 20s or whatever have you, maybe they were born in 04, 05, 06, and they've been getting these participation trophies, it's embedded into your mind for that to happen now. It's a part of how we do things now. So now when you look around and you see people having no respect for having or giving quality service, you understand why. It is that. Because when people are just given awards and accolades for not doing hard work, it creates a sense of entitlement. It really does. Because the entitlement that you've been seeing lately, was that around in the 80s? Was it around in the 70s, the 60s, the 50s, the 40s, the 30s? Talk to your grandparents. You know their stories. They don't even know what a participation trophy is, do they? But they know what hard work is. They know it and they respect it. That's the difference.